Good morning, makers. Welcome to Maker Studio. My name is Cristie and I am here today to bring a fun project to you. And this is a great, exciting week because we are having Dollar Tree Week. And so what does that mean? That means we are getting some things from the craft items at the Dollar Tree and merging them with our favorite Maker Studio products so that we can bring you amazing ideas to do DIY in your own home using inexpensive items from the Dollar Tree with your awesome favorite Maker Studio projects. So thank you so much for Amy for having me. My name is Cristie and I am the owner and artist of Joyful Art Studio. I have a teaching studio here in Northern California, excuse me, and I teach fun art, fine art, DIY maker classes, anything creative is my passion, and I love bringing it to others. But you can also find me on Facebook, on YouTube, and Instagram, and I'd love it if you join me over there. But for now, let's get to crafting. I'm going to be using this fun new stencil, so look at that. It is going to be fantastic for so many different DIY decor items for the holidays, for Halloween coming up. And even though it's really hard for me to think about fall and all the cool weather and things that those bring because it is still hot here in California, I'm excited to pretend and imagine that it was cooler and I was needing to put out all my fall decor. And so I'm going to take this stencil and I'm going to merge it with a couple different Dollar Tree things. The main thing I'm gonna do is in the party section, they have these awesome banners, just $1. And they have various colors, usually bright colors. And this one has kind of a purpley tint. They have polka dots in there. There's a whole bunch of different, like a bookmark size, different sizes. And we're gonna take that and kind of distress it up and merge it with this fun stencil. And I also have a couple other items I picked up. I have this fun little house. Those are super popular for your tiered trays. And then a little sign and some beads. So anyway, I have a lot to show you in a short amount of time. So let's turn the camera down so you can see everything I'm doing and let's get started. Okay, makers, so here we go. So I have my little sign and my other little wood house, and I'm just gonna lay those to the side first. And this was the packaging from my banner, and I don't really need that anymore. So I'm just going to get rid of that. And so the first thing I'm gonna wanna do is make sure I have all my supplies. I have some cardstock, and I've got my fun stencil. I have my black ink because I'm going to be printing these on that cardstock there. So these are what I'm going to be dealing with first. I need to distress these. And so I have got some of my one-step paint in white. It's a ballet white. And then this beautiful purple, which is aubergine. And so those are the two colors I'm going to use. And I even have them over here in little cups because that's where I like to keep them because I'm pretty messy. So I have also taken this same cardstock, and this cardstock is it's probably about a 60-pound weight cardstock, and I have cut it down to 4 inches by 5.5 because that is about the size of each of these elements in the stencil. And it's gonna fit nicely on top of some of these colored pieces. And so the first thing I'm gonna wanna do is I'm gonna actually take this off because I want this to be slightly more farmhousey than bright and colorful. And there's a lot of these on here, so I'm only gonna demonstrate probably 3 or 4 of them. And then you'll get the idea, and then I'll put it back together and you give it, take some photos, and then you can see how I would piece it all together. So I really want these bigger pieces for my stenciling size. So let's see what all I've got off here so far. And look at all the fun patterns. There's stripes, there's chevron, there is polka dot. So I've got some polka dot, and see on each side they're a little different. And then I've got some solids, some stripes. Let's flip that over and do some chevron. Let's grab, okay, so I've got 2 chevrons, 2 polka dots, and the first thing I want to do is to distress these, and I have a little piece of white paper here so that I don't get my tabletop all messy. And then I'm going to do all of these as well. I'm just not going to be printing on those. So I'll do that, all of the rest of them later, but I wanted to show you how I'm going to distress those. So I have a little chip brush here, and I want to get it nice and dry. And I have a little bit of this white left over, and as you can see, there's not much in there, but that is okay. So I'm getting the last little bits out of there, and I'm actually gonna rub a bunch of it off because I just want to distress these and soften this bright color. So I'm just gonna come in here, and over that purple, I'm gonna distress it on these as well. So it won't take much of that paint to do so. And this one-step paint is fantastic. First of all, it smells amazing. And then second of all, it is something that's very thorough in its coating. So some acrylics and other types of paint that you might be used to crafting with are not quite as opaque, and this one's super great. Okay, so I have all these distressed, and as you can see, they are almost practically dry because this stuff dries super fast, especially if you're just doing some dry brushing to distress those. So I'm gonna put that aside, and now what I want to do is I want to do some stencils on these little cards. And so I'm going to do 4 of them. And if you're not familiar with these stencils, they come in this sleeve just like so. And what I'm gonna do is cut these apart. I'm just gonna do the 4 quadrants, and I'm gonna cut right on this line. Just like this. And you could easily cut these off as well, but I'm not going to right now. Those would be a fun detail on the corners of something, and maybe I'll use them on my house, but I don't feel like I need them to be separate to do this project. So, all right, so what you do is these are adhesive, but they are not so sticky that they're hard to get off of the paper once you have printed. So I'm gonna take my backing and I'm gonna set it aside. And as you can see, this is has a mesh in there, and the cat is a great example to show that. So even, it's not like a traditional stencil. It's not, there's not a hole there. This is a very detailed layered mesh that allows the ink to go through but not have any lines in between the item that you're trying to print. That makes sense. So going to do this, just like so. Rub that in. Had a little piece of lint there, and I don't want that because that makes it not lay flat, and potentially ink could run in through there. And I'm gonna lay all these out so I can put my ink on there all at once. I'm gonna lay this one on here. I'm going to burnish it on there really well. And this one has lots and lots of fun detail. Check that out. Even in the letters, there's gonna be some fun distressing. I love that. And then this boo frame. And I think these are gonna be super cute, layered on top of our banner. Try to get this guy centered. This one is just the width. So I'm gonna give this a good burnish. So see that? Look at the detail in that frame. Isn't that amazing? And then I have this last one with the October 31st. So get that all lined up. And I think what I'm gonna do is on this one, I'm gonna put the cat. So I'm gonna do this first, and then I could get another print out of it on there. And then I'm gonna do the trick or treat over here. So I'm going to use a squeegee, and I'm gonna be using this gel art ink in the black color. I have one of these great new squeegees. This one has several different sizes, or sides I mean, and you can see that one is flat and one is curved, and I like this flat side here. And what I like to do is to put my ink right there on the squeegee, and I tend to use less at first. I can always add more, but you can't add it back into the bottle. So let's just keep on going with these. I need a little more ink. And I can even rotate this to help me get near that edge. And this one is pretty close to that edge. If you're not comfortable getting close to that edge, what you could do is use some painter's tape and tape right on top of the stencil where you are not wanting to get any of the ink. Turning it. Sometimes it's easier for me with these smaller pieces just to turn the cardstock instead of trying to maneuver my hand. And here we go. All right, and this last one, get it all in there. And Dollar Tree has got so many really awesome crafting items lately. They just keep growing in that, and so I love going in there and coming up with ideas to use there's stuff in the crafting and in the kitchen sections and in the hardware sections for different fun ideas that I can mix with these really cool stencils and paints and come up with some awesome creative fun. And so what's gonna happen is Maker Studio is doing a special thing this week, and they are, oh, here it comes, look at that. Look at that detail, you guys. Isn't that awesome? And they are going to be, I'm gonna go ahead and put it on here, doing a special page where you can go and vote for your favorite project. And that will be putting your name in for a Dollar Tree gift card. Isn't that fun? So make sure you watch all these videos all week and check out all the awesome projects we all have coming to you, and then go and vote on your favorite project, and then you can possibly win a gift card. Oh, look at that one, super cute. Then I'm gonna put my little stencil over here in the water, my water bath, so that the paint and ink don't dry in there. Look at that, I just love it. Isn't that print beautifully? You could make cards, all kinds of good fun stuff. And so I set these up here. They're almost already dry. This ink does not take any time at all. I really have a creative table going on here. And then look at that. Isn't that fun? And then I'm going to, and I know I'm not washing this out, and it's okay. I don't mind if it's a little bit gray, a little bit that black comes through. I just want to go ahead and get it done. But I'm going to put this on here and print that black while I have my black out on this cute little house that could stand just maybe on your mantle. You could easily incorporate it into some fun tier tray decor. These stand up on their own. They're about a 1/2 inch thick, so they will stand nicely on a shelf. And the cute little addition. Trying to get the rest of that black on there. Pressing it really well. Put that to the side. Here we go. Oh, look at that fun little cat. Isn't that cute? And then see, he's thick enough. He'll stand right up on your shelf. I'm gonna drop that into my water. I'm going to get out some white, and I'm gonna do white on this other one here. And I have another squeegee here. It's kind of stained because it's been well loved, but I'm going to use it too. And this is from Maker Studio also. And it's just a plastic card, and it's nice because you can cut it into smaller pieces. And I'm going ahead, and I know I didn't wash it between my white and my black, but I'm okay with that. If it's a little bit gray, I like a little rustic, messy look. So this will just add to that. And then drop that all into my water. And I will wash that when I'm done. Pull this guy up. Oh, look how fun that is. That white looks awesome on that black. And so this was just another little Dollar Tree plaque, and I painted it with the black of the one-step paint, as well as I painted this one with the same white that I distressed those with. So I'm gonna show you how I'm going to, my thoughts are on this. So what I'm gonna do, set those aside to dry. I'm going to add these on top of my different pennants. And set that aside. Make myself some space. I'm easily taking over my craft space. Who else does that? All of a sudden their table shrinks on them. Okay, so to glue these down, I'm just gonna actually use this tacky glue. This is a quick drying one. Just put a little bit on there. A glue stick would be another perfect alternative. Give that a nice press. You don't need much. Got a little water drop there, but that's okay. That will dry just fine. Sometimes when I'm in a creative mode, it just gets a little messy for me. A tape runner, that's another good one that would be an option. Okay, so here we go. And also, I'm gonna be adding some little beads that I have that I randomly, you can find these beads sometimes at the Dollar Tree, sometimes at the craft store. I just found some big bags of ones in clearance, and I'm always picking those up. So these are just those regular farmhouse beads. And as you can see, I have already gotten them into some colors. I did the black with the one-step paint, the white and the purple. And so I'm gonna be stringing those along too for some additions to this fun banner. All right, and I'm gonna show you really quick how I do that. So I'm gonna do some purple ones for you. So what I do is I like to have them be almost like a stain, not necessarily painted. I like the watercolor effect and the distressed look that it gives. And so what I do is I'm gonna take a tiny scoop, not much, in there, and a tiny bit of water. And I'm going to give it a good stir. And you can see I don't have a lot in there, just a little bit, not much at all. And then what I'll do is take my beads and put them in there. So I've got some naked, unpainted, unfinished beads here. And then I'm just gonna take them in here, and then I'm using my chip brush just to kind of make sure that those all get kind of covered. Give them a little stir, and then I put them on a paper plate. And they're a little bubbly at first, but that's okay. And then I let them dry, and they'll absorb that paint. And I put them out on the counter to dry, and they're dry within 15 minutes, but I'll give them a little shake every so often. So they become this beautiful stained bead. And again, this was the aubergine, the black, and then the white. And there's even some purple on there, but that's okay. All right, so we've got our pieces. I'm gonna lay those flat. I'm gonna actually press those under a book, and then I'm going to assemble these into a pennant, which I'll give you a good idea, and then I'll show you some pictures. So I will use some twine, restring it on, put some beads in between. I'm gonna add a little ribbon in between also, so you may not even need as many banner pieces that comes with it, or it's also going to increase the length of it. And so that will give us a fun, different look, but using these bright colors, and you can even pick up twine at the Dollar Tree. And so I'm gonna go ahead and put that together. I'm gonna turn my camera off, take some pictures so you guys can see how awesome it looks all done. And then don't forget to go and check out all the other projects that we're doing this week for Dollar Tree Week. go to the link that they're gonna provide and make sure you vote for your favorite project. And they're all gonna be awesome, so it's gonna be a hard choice. And then also, if you have any comments, drop them down below. I'll be checking out throughout the day, and I'll come back and make sure that those are answered for you. So thanks for joining me. I'm gonna get all these things together, looking all cute with my beads and my twine and my banner pieces, and give you a look on a picture. Thanks for joining me. See you soon.